welcome to Soul Notes. All right, we're live. It's Saturday morning, and I'm glad you're here. And I'm going to just start with, I'm recording. Okay, I'm going to just share this screen. I think I've mentioned before that I have these two hydroponic indoor gardens. And I noticed yesterday I've got my first green beans growing. I just planted those, I don't know, maybe a week ago. And so I planted 3 green bean plants, and I was so excited to see the beans on them yesterday. So, when I talk about when we're going for a dream, and this garden brings this to mind for me, when I talk about going for a dream, we always want to go for, we want our life to stay on the path of what feels good and what feels easy and comfortable. And when we're doing that, it's a way of measuring, are we in the flow of life or are we in resistance? So are we resisting the things that are showing up in life, or are we accepting them, moving through them, and continuing to stay in the flow? Well, these gardens, I love these gardens for a couple reasons. I want fresh lettuce, and I don't like cleaning lettuce. So when I'm growing lettuce in these gardens, all I do is pick them and eat them. That's all I have to do, and I have as much lettuce as I want. And but what comes along with these gardens is maintenance. Excuse me. And I don't enjoy the maintenance. It was okay when I had 1 garden. With 2, forget it. And so I made the decision this morning. In order to continue to use the gardens and enjoy them, I'm going to hire someone to come in maybe once a week, maybe every other week, to do the maintenance on them. It doesn't take long. And I have a person working for me right now who I think would really enjoy the project. And so I'm going to ask her if she would like to take that over. So I'm finding a way to thoroughly enjoy something without doing the part that I really can't stand. We all have these certain things in life that we don't really care for. For me, it's emptying the dishwasher. It used to be going to the dry cleaner. I used to hate doing that. And right now, that doesn't bother me anymore. But I'm so fortunate Steve empties the dishwasher. So look for little ways of making life happier. If you're noticing something in your life that's pulling you down, what can you do to adjust that? And sometimes there's nothing you can do. Sometimes it really just means you handle it and you shut off the thinking mind that keeps going, I can't stand this. This isn't what I want to be doing. So the most important piece here is what you do with your mind when you're going through the things you don't like doing. Okay, this is when you shut off the judgment, shut off the complaining type thoughts. Okay, so the one thing in particular that I wanted to go over today, this is the dream spiral. This is the path to the dream and what it looks like. Your dream is in the center. And in the beginning, the first thing we do is we choose, what is it we want? What would you love to have happen in your life? What is that one heartfelt idea that if you could only have that, it would be amazing? And it's usually something that seems impossible. So everyone has this big leap towards what they would love. And where these are coming from, these are seeds in your soul. These were planted by you long before you were born. And every seed in your soul is a possibility. You wouldn't have the seeds if you didn't have the potential to have it, create it, attract it, produce it, manifest it, whatever the word is. If you have a deep, heartfelt desire, you already have what it takes. You just can't see how it could ever happen. And that part's not important. If you can see how, You're choosing a goal, not a dream. Okay. So you start with something, you determine what it is you would love to have. So basically, you're making a decision in your mind. This is what I want. Okay? And someone just wrote in here, your heart's deepest desire. Yes, that. Okay. Then you have a sense of excitement. You come on a call like this and you get excited and you believe you can have it, and you're hopeful, you're filled with faith, you trust somehow it's going to happen. You start to watch, you start to notice the thinking that's going through your mind, like you start to filter out the complaining thoughts, the judgmental thoughts, and you're on your way. This is the start of the journey. And then next, you remind yourself to stay inspired. This is when you start to buy books about manifestation, or books that inspire you, books that let you know there are things that are greater than you, or that, I don't want to say that because you are the greatest thing in the universe. Any ways that you can stay inspired. You look for public speakers, you go to classes, anything that keeps you on the path, in the flow, that reminds you not to resist life, that reminds you to accept what's coming. It reminds you to not fight what is, or what has already happened. It reminds you to stay more in the present moment and let go of the past and let go of the future. It's simply being present. Anything that reminds you of any of these things will help you stay inspired, will help remind you of who you really are. All of these things are helpful. It doesn't matter where you look or what you go towards. It might be simply finding new groups of people for meetups. It might be seeking new online classes, or making some new friendships, reaching further than you've been before. And then you're reminding yourself constantly, but when you have doubts and things come up, you remind yourself to trust that your dream is happening. The reason this is difficult, or seems difficult, is because you cannot see what's happening in the unseen nature of life. So the motion, everything, your dream is already in motion. It's in production. It's in the production line at the facility. The right people are lined up to show up. The right opportunities and doors that are going to be opening are all lined up in perfect divine timing to happen for you. You just can't see it from where you are now. So you need to somehow rely on your own inner being to trust that somehow this dream is being created for you, and it will happen. Then you enter the cooking time. This is what I call the cooking time. This is when the pot is simmering, nothing's ready to eat, nothing is happening, or so it seems. And this is when you continue to remind yourself to trust that somehow your dream will happen, and you lean on those inspirational resources in even greater ways. Because it is difficult sometimes to really do this on your own, so we rely on these outside influences from society, or from our community, our spiritual community. Okay, the cooking time continues and continues and continues. Nothing seems to be changing. Doubts come up. You start to lose hope. There's a feeling like this is never going to happen. What was I thinking? This might happen for some people, but it's never going to happen. How is this going to happen? I don't have the resources. I don't have the reach. I don't have the mailing list to support this. I want to be a public speaker, but what am I going to talk about? I don't have that ability. I'm too shy. I'm too short. I'm too wide. You'll come up with all kinds of reasons why you can't do this, and this is just the thinking mind. This is not real. None of it is real. None of it is real until it's happening right now in this moment. So you have full potential to what you see right now in your current environment or something greater. Choose to focus on something greater, because that's just as real as what you're seeing in your current environment. You begin to move away from the current environment and into this new reality through your focus, through your thoughts. You make that your real, that your current moment. Your unconscious mind doesn't know the difference. It doesn't know if this is real or this is real. And it creates this in physical form when you focus on it. That's what becomes. Okay, this is where you put your focus. Often in the cooking time, there is a feeling of boredom. That's one of the signs, at least for me, that I noticed when I was in the cooking time. It just seemed like I felt like I was walking through mud, like it was just hard to take one step in front of the other. And it seemed to take forever. And when my biggest dream came true, I went from start to finish in 9 months. That was not forever. It seemed to last lifetimes. And there was no reason it would ever happen for me. There was no way this was going to take place, but I just kept going. And that's the key, is you don't give up. There are going to be days when life feels hard. There are going to be a lot of days when you feel like nothing's happening. But you just remind yourself that somehow this is what I'm meant to be, do, or have. Somehow I will have this life. It will be my life. This is my life. I just haven't seen the signs of it yet, but I know it will happen. Somehow. Because when you say somehow, that leaves it up to the universe to create for you, and that's what you want. Because you're not doing this on your own. If you're doing it on your own, you're working 100% under human power. And you can't get to a miracle through human power. You just can't.